Oh gosh, do I actually have to tell them the whole thing? Okay. During COVID, especially at the beginning of lockdown, I stood in my yoga yard that I take videos of all the time that I see as a very magical place. And I saw two blue beams coming down towards me. Like Kirk and Spock were coming. And I was very excited about this. I thought, oh, this is neat. It was happening. And then off to the left, I saw a big red wave come in. And the blue went up and the red came through. And then it all disappeared. I'm Bobbi Rowntree, Born Medium, and today I am going to tell you a story that I have kept to myself for the most part. Really, well, publicly I have kept it to myself. I have told a few clients about this story because it has come up in readings, and a few people I know this story because, okay, so I have kept it to myself for a certain reason. I've kept it to myself because I have shame attached to this story. I did something rather... I wasn't thinking. I could say I did something rather stupid, but to say I did something rather stupid would mean that I consciously made a decision that wasn't great for me. Well, I guess I did. Anywho, so if you know me, you know I don't like to be touched too much. I don't like people too close to me, especially if they are hovering over me. So therefore, I don't enjoy the dentist. Because I don't enjoy the dentist, I have a little bit of a phobia with the dentist. I also, if you watch my videos, you know I'm 53. And I have a tooth that is the same age as me still in my face. I have a baby tooth in the front, right there. And vanity has moved me into the idea that I need to get rid of that because it's unsightly, all these, blah, 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 you know, the vanity thing. So I went to a dentist. And the dentist said, well, if you have a really big phobia, we will prescribe you some medication. Now, I'm not a person who takes medications. Now I'm 53. I have taken the Advil very much lately, but I'm not usually a medication person, especially when it comes to my psyche. I don't like to take medications for my psyche. But I did. I went to the pharmacist and I filled the prescription. And the pharmacist said to me, make sure you take them all. So I just took that as gospel, even though the dentist has said to me, take only three. I didn't remember that somehow, some way, and I took them all. I tipped the entire bottle of Ativan down my throat. 12 Ativan went into my body at one time. Do not recommend this. In fact, I have been told by healthcare practitioners that I should be dead because I took 12 Ativan just like that. Did not die. I remember most of it, 98% of it, actually, I think I do remember. I took 12 Ativan. I had to be taken care of. Thank God my husband was home and he took care of me. But in that time, I had a set of dreams. And they all kind of amalgamated into this one idea within the dreams. Now, backstory. If you know me also, you believe and know, well, you might not believe me, but you know that I think this. I actually think COVID was an enlightenment. I think 2020 was a mass human enlightenment. And I think we failed miserably, absolutely miserably. I believe very, very, very strongly that feeling that everyone was getting during COVID, that luring, that somebody's watching us, somebody's trying to control us, somebody's trying to communicate with us, somebody's trying to do something bigger than us. It was absolutely the truth. But I do not believe in any way, shape, or form it was any kind of humans. See, doesn't that sound insane? Yeah, I don't believe it was the government because I actually believe it was the powers that be. And you know what? I've been keeping that to myself for too flippin' long. I'm done keeping it to myself because I'm actually seeing the whole world go stupid. Stupid! So, this is what I saw. During COVID, this grid formation went on my eyeballs. Oh gosh, do I actually have to tell them the whole thing? Okay. During COVID, especially at the beginning of lockdown, I stood in my yoga yard that I take videos of all the time that I see as a very magical place. And I saw two blue beams coming down towards me. Like Kirk and Spock were coming, and I was very excited about this. I thought, oh, this is neat. It was happening. And then off to the left, I saw a big red wave come in. And the blue went up and the red came through, and then it all disappeared. And to me, the red and the blue, the red and the blue, the red and the blue, everything in our society is red and blue. When a cop is coming at you, he's flashing red and blue. We use red and blue a lot. We use red and blue for our politics. I think it's fire and water myself, but we use it a lot. We pay attention to it, and that might be why they were coming in those colors, but it might be something bigger that I don't really understand, but I gotta tell you every little detail, so just in case one of you guys understands, and you can help explain my own brain to me. Okay, so after the red and blue, during COVID, a grid pattern came onto my eyeballs, a grid pattern that was so disconcerting that I had to beg them to take it off my eyeballs because I couldn't not see it. It was driving me insane. Now, fast forward to later in 2020, 2021, 2022, everybody's going about their business. I'm still thinking that this is what's true. And I start looking at sacred geometry because sacred geometry keeps being blop, 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 blopped in my face at all times. When I start to look into sacred geometry, I understand the grid pattern because there's a net over all of the earth. I didn't know that. I should have known that because that's the World Wide Web. That's actually what they link into so that we can have the internet. Anywho, that's what was on my eyeballs, I guess, because while I was in my Ativan OD, I stood on that grid. I was in the sky standing on a grid in my dream. I wasn't actually physically standing on the grid. I'm not insane. This was in my dream. And I was speaking to a gigantic head. And that gigantic head was telling me they were going to do it all again. And this was in 2024 at the end of January. He said, within a year, we're doing it all again. And I said, well, you know what? You guys failed. You failed miserably. None of them figured it out. Nobody figured it out. And now they tell me they're doing it again. And they started in April 2025. We're getting into March of 2025. And I just see 2020 happening again. I just see everybody freaking out and being so mean to each other and venomous. And actually trying to make other people feel like crap just with words, people you don't even know. You're saying cruel and horrific things to them. And what does that do to your heart? I think you all know it's happening. I think you all know it's coming, and I think you're ignoring it. And I think that when something happens and we don't understand what it is, we immediately get mad about it. We immediately push against it. We immediately think it's bad, but maybe it's not bad. Maybe that change you keep complaining about, maybe the way you see the state of the world, things like that, maybe that is something that can be fixed, but not by human beings. And maybe we have gotten to such a disgusting point in our socialness, and we're repeating history, for goodness sakes. We have gotten to this point because we have fallen prey to individualism. We have fallen prey to the idea that we are not a collective. We have fallen prey to stupidity, ignorance, and an adversary feeling in everyone's heart. Okay, now, if they do come, which all I have noticed is chaos. I have not noticed people knowing. I have not noticed a ethereal feeling within everything. I have not noticed this yet. But I still have hope. And I still pray that it's going to happen. And I still think that we as a humankind, a human race, are actually at the precipice of an enlightenment, a massive enlightenment. We have been duped. We have been duped for about 1,000 years. We have thought that only certain people are psychic. Only certain people know more. Some of us even think nobody is psychic and it doesn't even exist. Well, The duping is you are psychic. The duping is that God is actually within you. God is not a thing that hates you or will smite you or will hurt you if you're naughty or don't know anything. If God is God, God knows you don't know anything because that's why you're darn well here. So if you start looking at things in a more positive light, if you start looking at the changes and the things and the feelings that you're having and starting to address them in a positive way, think of it like Santa Claus rather than the devil. You've never seen Santa Claus. You've never seen Jesus. But if one of them walked into your house, you'd be like, hey, come and have a tea. So think of it that way, please. Invite them to tea. Invite yourself to that tea. Meditate, please. Do some yoga. Do some Tai Chi. Walk in nature. Get off your social media. I have to tell myself that too. I am just as bad. I am not above it. I try to be, but I'm not. I'm human. I'm so human. And when I see people being mean, I have no other choice but to tell them they're being mean. Actually, I'm trying to throw flowers at them. It doesn't always work, but they don't always get my flowers. So, please, I'm begging you. I'm asking you, join me. Become a warrior of light. Throw flowers instead of venom. When someone says to you, wah, 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 everything is bad, say to them, yeah, well, this is good, and that's good, and this is good too. And let's concentrate on those things. Let's be positive. Let's actually hold hands and be brothers and sisters, because that's actually what we are. And if someone thinks differently than you, it's not because they're bad. They think differently from you because they have had a different experience in life. Their life is different. Everything about their world is different. They can be different than you. They're allowed to have a different opinion. As long as their opinion doesn't infringe upon the rights of another, they're allowed to have it. And if you have an opinion that infringes upon the rights of others, please rethink your opinion and actually walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. And actually remember that you have people you love, and those people you love may actually be the people you have opinions about, and you don't realize it, and they can't be who they are because they're afraid you won't love them anymore. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I hope that when you get that weird feeling, that feeling that makes you feel a little bit paranoid, a little bit wondering what the heck is going on in the room, I hope you'll sit back, take a second, and ask if it's possibly a dead loved one, or an angel, or an ascended being, or something positive coming towards you. Maybe there's more to you than you realize. Namaste.